You're on. Like you're on. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's the guy. Welcome to the Magnet, episode 11. Proudly brought to you by Major Tom Video Live Streaming Podcast Editing, Marketing via all your social media platforms for business and influence. Welcome, Chef. We've had a few technical problems. I don't even know if they've seen us. We might be just talking over the top of them at the moment.
It's probably better for them they don't, you know what I mean? I've got a good head for radio, I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, we're on now.
We're on.
I can see ourselves.
Oh, I can see a good-looking, handsome man right there and me.
So how are you feeling after the little bit of a layoff we've had?
I'm excited. I didn't realise how much I missed it. It's been a long 3 weeks. So really glad to be back. Sort of gives me something to do rather than sit on the couch and scratch my balls all day. So it's really good to be back.
Turn that off. Hopefully, I wanted to also look at a really big thank you for our one and only live show. I had such a ball. I hope everyone else did that attended as well and everyone that watched. Thanks to Nicole, the girls. Keithy Robbins for coming in.
Yeah, well done, Keith. Thanks very much.
Sue Oakes and Oaksy himself coming in. It was amazing to see everyone here and have a beer with everyone after the show. And a few of the guys had way too many beers, and the interaction was fantastic.
They got a little bit socially excited. So, but yeah, like you said, it was good to see Oaksy. I teed up Oaksy and Keith Robbins didn't know he was coming. Hadn't seen each other for years, so that was good. And it was good to see Sue come down as well. So it was great.
It was really good. It was a really, really good night. And look, looking at the positives moving forward, let's hope next year that's our Thursday night is going through the teams, talking to the coaches, having a chat to the current players, and still having a past player on there to give us a few stories and a few beers with everyone and a good chat and a bit of fun.
Yeah, so basically this year is going to be like a bit of a pre-season, I suppose, to next year. So we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing and hopefully keep everyone involved, and every club is in the boat. We just move on and do our best until next year and see what happens then.
Yeah, so we're going to try and chug along for another 4 or 5 weeks until sort of season's end. And hopefully we can get as sort of many shows as we can and sort of look forward to next year. We've got some I want to get into some Cheerios. There's quite a few. Gee, July. Everyone was born in July.
What was going on 9 months ago before that?
It's very funny. Some happy birthdays. So Killer Keeley, happy birthday, Killer.
And you kill?
JJ Supercoach. I know you're probably back in Australia, not in Bali, but g'day Jimmy.
Who knows where Jimmy is at the moment?
Yep. My old man, Reginald Walter. Happy birthday.
The one and only Reginald Walter.
Happy birthday, mate. Loose lips sink ships.
Absolutely. Noodles conditions.
Badger, happy birthday, Badger.
Nice, Michael.
Yeah, Badge. I did see a picture of Badge on Facebook with an Essendon jumper on.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
He must have lost a bet.
He must have lost a bet.
That must have hurt.
All right, one of the famous boys from the Heights. Happy birthday, Shane Gumption Blake.
On your Gumps.
He's up Anglesey?
Somewhere where they don't have to wear a mask just yet.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on the show one night. He's got some. I'm sure he's got some fantastic.
He has some
stories.
cracking stories.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Jeff Harmon today.
On your Scorchy. Great man, Scorch. Love him dearly.
Yeah. Happy birthday. My nephew, Connor Reynolds. Happy birthday, Connor.
Young Conor McGregor Reynolds.
If there's anyone else that I've missed, we've also got. We're going to do a call to a very special guest. I'll get Codge to give him a call. He is celebrating a 50th birthday.
Who knew he'd make it this far?
Right, exactly right. We would have had a bit of a giggle if someone said he'd turned 50 this bloke.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's going to be great to catch up with him. So we'll try and give him a call while we're doing that. 50 not out.
We're in him now.
Yeah, we're in there.
A bit disappointed he'll be sober.
If he answers.
I know.
Hello!
Hey, champion!
Hello, gentlemen, what's happening?
We just wanted to give you a call from everyone at the Magnet and the Chelsea Heights Football Club to tell you congratulations on being 50 not out. And
50 not out,
50 not out, what a fantastic effort. And just for everyone out there, you're obviously a fantastic Chelsea Heights Football Club stalwart and clubman and a premiership player, just to give everyone a little bit of a background there.
No worries. Look, can I just say one thing, fellas? This is truly a great sporting highlight for me to you guys to have me on the show, along with being interviewed by the Pakenham Gazette. So, yeah, fantastic stuff, fellas.
That's a story for another time.
That is a story.
Well, I just thought I'd try. Yeah.
I'm going to say right now, I had nothing to do with that at all. I was there, but had nothing to do with that. But it was a...
I wonder if Ed Stewart might be out there somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, she's still waiting. She must do... I reckon she went to Chelsea Footy Club that day. And put him
Possibly.
Yeah, I know. That was one of the best stitch-ups we ever had, I reckon. Unfortunately, it was you. So the nut... so, no footy. When did you retire from footy?
When did I retire from footy?
Yeah.
I would have to say...
You played a couple of years ago. You probably should have retired, but I'm just saying, officially retired.
Officially retired. I would have to say about 2002. I think I did try when Scott was coaching. I think I tried to play a couple of games, but I done my shoulder by that time anyway. So yeah, I'd say around about 2001 or 2, around about that anyway, mate.
So Nut, so we've heard. Now, welcome to social media.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks.
I'm not going to say you're only 13 years behind everyone else. You've attacked social media with aplomb. There's a few posts there. There's plenty of beer emojis, which I like. I don't understand most of the things, but as soon as I see a beer emoji, it's a thumbs up from me. A happy smile, 2 thumbs up, whatever it is. Now, we've heard what you're doing now is just you've concentrated on your golfing career. Is that correct?
My golfing trip, yes, mate. Yeah, definitely been out the backyard practicing nice, but anyway.
How did you take the transition from superstar Chelsea Knights player to legendary golf player? How was that? Because I heard I don't know what you say, a work in progress. Would that be kind enough to say that?
Yeah. I think I started off with a pretty high score, and
pretty high score. And what was that high score? Can you tell everyone here? For people who don't know anything about golf, it's the lower score wins, not the higher score. So I think you might have been confused that day we played down the peninsula. So can you tell the viewers what you signed your card in as? What score?
I think it was 199.
And I've got 191 written down here, and everyone that day reckons bullshit, it was more than that. They reckon you still didn't count about 20 shots.
Well, as I said, it was, I think I was playing with my eyes closed that day anyway.
Weren't you playing with Paul Perry's kids' clubs? Is that true?
That could have been the case, Sonny.
I think it was, because we were waiting for you on the 18th hole, and you've come over and you've had a putt, you've had to hunch over like Herman Munster.
Yeah.
And then when you finished off the putt, you put your score in, and Goober went up to the professional and he said to the professional, he goes, mate, what's the highest score you've ever heard? He goes, I don't know, 100 and something or other. He goes, my mate's just got 191. He said, bullshit. And that was the highlight of his day and the highlight of ours too. So, are you still playing, having a game every now and again or not with the social club?
Well, I probably haven't had a game for a while, Toddy, but hopefully, once all the sort of stuff dies down and goes away, it's definitely time to get out and have a hit with everyone for sure.
Nice, mate. And you know the other thing, just remember that time he played and he didn't have shoes? He didn't have golf shoes? We played down Peninsula, you're playing in your runners or something around, and the pros come on and he goes, mate, you can't play in what you're playing, you need to go and buy, and you were dirty. You were absolutely filthy, because you're taught with a quid, we all know that, and you had to go and buy a pair of golf shoes. So that stung.
that hurt me bad that day. Mate.
It's a shithouse game, golf, trust me.
It's full of frustration. Also, Nut has the firstly, but if I was you, I'd just blame the dodgy shoulder. I'd say that pinned shoulder has ruined your golf career. That's what I'd be saying.
It did, mate. Yeah. Along with his good career.
Yeah, and also, mate, just wanted to check out the family and everything's all good and life's okay. And,
yeah. Yeah, no, Melody's doing a sterling job homeschooling, which is trying for all the mums and dads out there.
Not your cup of tea.
No, I'm going to work.
I just wanted to, before we go, I wanted to share a little memory. We've always been best mates, but I want to share this one. You won't remember this. You won't remember this, but it's a very, very funny story on the Monday after the premiership. So I just wanted to share this with you. You won't remember this, but we were in the old magnet rooms. I remember taking the photos off the wall of you and I that were up there for the. We used to have a player auction back in those days, and we ripped the photos off. I remember getting sticky tape off, and I stuck your photo to my head, and you stuck my photo to your head. And I remember someone putting on the Pet Shop Boys. You're always on my mind. I remember it was a fantastic moment. It might have been the Monday or Tuesday after the premiership. We'd been on the drink for about 3 or 4 days, and we'd come. I
don't think it would have been at the end of the week.
Was Barry Carpenter aware of this at the stage or not? Was the copper aware we were doing that? He probably wasn't.
Oh, no.
Although he would have found out anyway. That's why they called him the copper. Now, before you go, just one question that we have. Now, the 95 grand final, what did it mean to you?
Yes, mate.
What did it mean to you?
What it meant to me, obviously, there's some pretty lean years leading up to it, and there was a time there where we thought the club would exist no more, and I just think that sort of coming from that point, and winning the flag was just it was just a way for everyone, not for myself, just for everyone involved and the club itself. No, magic moment, mate. Magic.
Yeah, it was good, mate. It was great. It was one of my best days I've ever had at the club, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, thanks. It's like I played. Fantastic for everyone involved, and I think the club kicked on and leaps and bounds ever since, mate. It was great, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're trying our best here to keep the ball rolling, and we want to make Chelsea Heights a destination club next year, and we're trying our best to keep some interest and get all the boys back together, and share a few stories and have a few laughs. And I wanted to say this at the start of the show: if there's anyone out there that's doing it tough, please send a text to a mate, give them a call. It's really tough times at the moment, but feel free to reach out to someone. Something simple, a little joke or something. It really makes someone's day. I know myself. Look, I'm I advocate all the time. I'll put my phone in the pocket, go to the toilet, and sit there and have a bit of a flick through social media, have a bit of a laugh at some of the posts you guys put on, and what we're going to put on the magnet now. So it's really good. We need to keep that
absolutely. Going. My door's always open to everyone. You know what I mean? And I've had people ring me over the last, I won't mention names, I don't want to embarrass him, but I've had a couple of text messages from mates to see how you're going and stuff like that. And if you need a chat for whatever reason, because I've been out of work, and give them a call. So I really appreciate that. And that goes towards everyone in the club. The club's here, it always has been for everyone, and it always will be.
Yeah,
so
that's great. Really good, and that's why we called it the Magnet Nut, because it was a place where you could go pretty much, except for Barry, you could do whatever Barry told you could do whatever you want. You could climb the beam, you could drink what you want, you could talk to your mates, get stuff off your chest. It was a sanctuary away from everywhere that we could all catch up. So, thanks.
Yes, it definitely was a destination club when we were all pretty young. So we were there more often than not.
That's right. Well, thanks very much for your time, and we'll hopefully catch up with you soon. We definitely want to get Gumption on one night. I know he's got some fantastic stories. What I remember, he mightn't remember, but I remember. I'd love to run by him to have a chat and a few laughs about. So, fantastic. So, thanks very much, and don't be a stranger. And we look forward to speaking to you again.
Anyway, guys, in the great words of Scotty Palmer, keep posting and talk to you first.
Good on you, Nat. Hope to see you on social media a little bit more.
No, keep putting it out there, Scotty, and I'll see what I can come up with, mate.
Good on you,
to talk to you guys.
Absolute champion. Thanks, Nat.
Thanks, Nat.
No worries, bye.
Great. 50 not out for the Nut, and great to talk to him. I haven't spoken to him for a little bit. Actually, I will keep in touch with him. It'd be great to, and again, back to our past players' day. I can't wait to catch up with guys like that.
Absolutely.
And catch up. I know we're all real busy, and we've all got, busy lives, etc. I just wanted to go through tonight's show as well. Now that we've got through that long list of Cheerios, we're going to catch up with Bully first. So I want him to address the players after what's been a frustrating and disappointing year. So we're going to call him in a moment. We've got Buckwheat coming on to join us. He's going to discuss all things Lockout.
All things Lockout. There's plenty of things Lockout.
Yeah, the Lockout. So. We could actually make a show just about the Lockouts, couldn't we?
Oh, Jesus, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've been involved in this club for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll catch up with Buckwheat. We'll have a guess who we're going to share a demon tail with. Yes, the two-time premiership player and club captain, Gavin Hoss-White, and looking forward to speaking to Hoss.
Or as Brian Gately calls him, Moose.
The Moose.
Yeah. G'day, Moose.
We've got Bisho's Bet of the Week. We're going to give him a call.
How are we going on that?
Another second. He's not going well there
like
with the seconds.
champions.
I know. And this is another one that it flew home and got beaten. Oh, it was a huge run.
Oh, it's a good run, though.
Yeah,
it was a
good run.
great second. Great second.
I'm starting a new segment tonight. It's called Ask the Hairy Chef. So look, it's free. It's free medical, psychological, healing. Just any advice, financial advice,
Anything you want.
anything you want.
Yep.
It's Dr. HC. Look, the Nut should probably send a question in about golfing tips. Actually.
Oh, mate, I've got it all. There's not much I don't know. And like I said, if I don't know, I make it up.
You're very worldly.
Very
Man.
worldly, exactly. I've got no professional training.
Married kids.
Alcoholic, broke most of the time, so I cover all the bases. So, yeah.
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, pretty much. I can tell you what not to do, and I can tell you what to do, but it's up to you whether you take the advice or not.
So we'll catch up with the doctor later, and I've actually got a person. I need some psychological care.
I've grown up in a football club full of lunatics, so that bit I've got down pat.
I don't know if that won't be a shock to anyone, but I need some psychological care. But I'm going to go through an old story that I've never told anyone. There was a couple of scenarios I want to go through. I just need my mind to be put at rest.
And that's what we're all about.
Yeah,
reaching out and asking for help. And I know everything about nothing. Simply. And if I don't, like I said, I'll make it up, and I have an opinion on everything. So feel free to ask anything you want. Any subject, ring in. Give us a couple of questions. They'll help you as much as possible.
That sounds good.
Just make sure you read the fine print.
We've got our best 22 week 11. Thanks again to Bear Bum, and also Puppet sent me another one as well. So we've got a few to get through the next few weeks. Bear Bum's one. I'll put a little teaser up on our new Facebook page, The Magnet. We've got it all started, which we've opened it up to everyone and wants to have a listen and tune in and hopefully have a few laughs.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I've put a photo up there if anyone didn't guess. It was Animal House.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get the Animal
I just
House?
saw some sort of overweight guy drinking a massive beer, and I thought, that's me. And then after I realised, the animal connotation.
So it is from Animal House. So we're going through some players, a best 22 of animal nicknames. There could be a slug, a rat.
Yep.
I know a few bears.
Yeah, there's a few bears.
There's a doggy.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
We've got, it's going to be a beauty tonight.
There's no pelicans, which I was disappointed with, but anyway.
No pelicans, no.
Nah, maybe we could just make someone up.
We had a penguin that played golf.
We did have
golf.
cricket.
Played
Cricket.
and darts.
Oh, Pengy.
Darts,
Hey.
but he never played footy. That's
All
right.
clear. The big no thumb.
That's it.
Good man, Penguin.
We'll be taking some questions from the audience. We're back with Dave's, Dinger's, Bear Bum's, Jimmy Streeter's Joke of the Week.
I spoke to Dave during the week, and he promised me that he wouldn't fuck this one up.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee.
I actually, I rewatched the show after we finished the last live show, and I could not stop laughing at your straight face, basically looking at Dave and said, Dave, you fucked that up.
Yeah, he balls it up massively, which is probably funnier than he actually had to tell it properly. So let's hope he sort of maybe stuffs this one. It'd be great.
No,
and if we ring him late enough, it'd be on the Sherbets anyway, so it could be good.
Very funny. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to give our next guest a call.
Who is our next guest?
It is our coach, Josh
The coach
Bull.
who's had the weirdest first year senior coaching appointment in the history of coaching appointments, I think.
Yeah.
Something looked so positive, and he was looking so positive, and he put the club together, and it's just turned a bit weird. It's shape.
You need to fix the audio, mate. Yeah.
Hi.
Joshy.
G'day, mate. How are ya?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
That's good. How's the family? How are you all going?
Yeah, mate. All going well. My lovely wife, good. We a couple of weeks ago, so he's keeping us on our toes. So yeah, we're all going well.
Nice. So, what I suppose we've got to ask you, your first senior coaching position hasn't really turned out the way I think any of us hoped, and none of us saw. So, look, just basically give us a rundown on your thoughts on this year, how it's all been, what's going on, and basically what are we looking forward to next year?
Like I said, what a year to have my first year. You couldn't script this, so it's been pretty tough. The process was great, and then when obviously everything went down, things slowed down, and it was a bit clunky from there for a while, and then we were training, we weren't training, so it was pretty hard. And then when we got the news that the season wasn't going ahead, obviously, it was really bad news. I felt really, the main thing for me was just I felt really sad and upset for the boys. They put in a huge pre-season and not being able to play footy. It's no good. So I really felt for them, but I think obviously the decision that was made was probably the right one in the end anyway. So just disappointing on that side, but still plenty of positives. It's hard to see the positive side of it, but there was definitely some positives for us as a footy club, I guess, moving forward. We recruited really well, and we're hoping to keep them all for the next few years to come yet. And we got some really good people into the footy club in and off, on and off the field, I guess, as well. So plenty of positives as well to take out of it. Just a bugger where not out there training tonight on a beautiful Thursday night, or we won't be out there Saturday, run around, have a kick. But I think, like I said, the right decision was made probably in the end anyway. So.
Look, I think it was. You know what I mean? It's like I said, everyone's disappointed, and like I said, we can always say that everyone's club's going through the same. But this year was a bit of a rebuilding chance we had, and we lucky enough to get you on board, and you brought in some good quality people, and everyone started getting back on the Heights wagon, which was great. And then it sort of all finished. So look, we can't do anything about that. So what to the players? Do you want to let the players that were listening now? What's the next step? How do we go ahead from here? You know what I mean? Obviously, there's no footy. There's a break. Everyone's going to do their own thing. They're working. But what's our next step for next year?
For the players, probably. I've still been in contact with ads and with Callie, and we've still been in contact. I think probably over the last maybe since it was called, probably 3 or 4 weeks now, I guess. It's gone pretty quick, but I kind of said to Callie and to Lee and to Ads and to everyone involved, just to switch off. It's, after all the stuff that went through with the COVID and stuff, it's become pretty mentally tiring. So for those guys to switch off and to have a break, and just for a refresher, and then, get a few ideas to get moving for next year. For the players, it's probably just been the same thing. I haven't annoyed them for the last few weeks because I think not only mentally for them, but also physically, because guys have been doing a lot of work for a long time. So it's important for them to freshen up and to clear their heads and give the body a little bit of a rest as well. But for them, I think that we made a lot of progress. The boys made a lot of progress throughout their training for the pre-season. They've really improved week in, week out, and I think they've got a little bit of a taste of what might be to come if they keep at it. So I'm hoping that's enough to get them excited for a big pre-season, and look forward to moving into next year. So that'd probably be it in a nutshell, I guess, mate. The main important, I think everyone kind of thinks or forgets maybe that. Overall, like, this thing's it's a health thing, and it's all about keeping healthy and keeping yourself healthy and your family and friends healthy as well. So that's the main bit. But I think we've definitely made a bit of noise, I guess you could say. Created a bit of interest on and off field, and you guys with the podcast, like, that's been fantastic for the footy club, and all involved with that should be taking a huge pat on the back, because I've had a lot of people that have been tuning in and asking questions and all the rest of it. So, there is still plenty of positives to take out of a season where we haven't played any footy, for sure.
Well, that's it, mate. I mean, we're making noise at the moment. We're still making noise. So, if we get a people like to listen into this or be aware we're here, or that's the best thing the footy club can do at the moment is make some noise and let everyone know we're still here and we'll be here. We'll always be here. Yep. And like I said, have a good rest, have a good break for everyone, and basically see everyone next year. So hopefully everyone sticks around and we'll attack next year when it comes.
Yeah. So
that's right.
Yeah, Josh, it's going to be a really weird pre-season when it does come around next year, knowing that I guess everyone's had such a gap, and it sort of resonates a little bit around the soft tissue injuries as well. So I guess the message is for the boys to just keep stretching and doing some running and just keeping themselves active.
Yeah, that's right, and it's it's like I said just before too. It's not just for a physical thing. I'm sure a lot of the guys are still doing bits and pieces, but with the lockdown and not being able to do a hell of a lot, getting out and getting some fresh air and having a run and getting a bit of a sweat up is not only good for your physical health but the mental health as well. So it's important they do that. I've got guys that help me out with a few guys have helped me out with pre-season for this year. That will no doubt, be able to help out for moving forward in the next few months and that as well. So it will be quite a long pre-season. It's going to be like a bloody 12-month pre-season, I think, by the field. Started last probably, when was it, November, I think it was. So
yep.
We were nearly tipping into August. So I'm really ready to get back to it again.
Yeah. Well, we're getting some scales down here apparently, so we're all going to step on the scales.
The weigh-in, yeah. Well,
the weigh-in.
What's that one in Albury where the truck goes over the side? That's one I know. Sorry, mate, you can't get. No, it's just me. There's no truck.
Well, if you say that, well, maybe we might have to do a pre-season not only for the players but for some of the committee and supporters too. If they want to jump on.
You're cutting out now. You're cutting out. Sorry, I couldn't hear that. Now, just before you go, mate, I just want a personal thank you for myself and the committee and you've basically been a breath of fresh air this year, and what you've done and how you've gone about it, and there's plenty of people really impressed with the way you've held yourself so far, considering the weird year. So kudos to you. Have a rest. Spend some time with the lovely Emily, who I'm yet to meet, but I hope she doesn't think I'm a complete dickhead. And look after yourself, and let's keep in touch and see what happens next year, I suppose.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Yep, just before you do go, Josh, make sure you listen later. I am 99.9% sure that you will be coaching our best 22 tonight, called the Animal House, being your surname being Bull. Maybe we'll get Nicole to frame it up, and you can take the wedding photo down of you and your wife and stick the best 22 of you as coach.
In the office now, there's plenty of room for that to go up. So with the one win from the practice game from my team, you can probably
you can retire.
Yeah, absolutely. I might not be back.
That's it. You live with that story for years.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Just one thing too before you go. I know you guys will might touch on it tonight or over the next couple of weeks. But I just wanted to get the ball rolling a little bit, I guess, and I'm not sure whether to talk about it tonight or tomorrow. I don't know what the schedule's like, but just to anyone listening or anyone out there that wants to get involved in the footy club, moving forward, make sure they yell out. It's really difficult, obviously, at the minute for the footy club to make any money with no games, no canteen, no bar, not being able to run or host any functions, anything like that. So I do know that there's a few ideas floating around, and they're going to try and roll out a Demon Lotto type thing. So for anyone out there that can get involved in that, or whether it's go halves or go thirds or go fourth to someone and throw into something to get a little ticket in that and get involved in that, that'll be great, because unfortunately everything keeps moving, but if footy clubs can't run or tick, the bank balance doesn't roll anywhere. So I'm hoping that there'll be a few people out there that are listening in that think, that might be something they can get involved in. And if that's not it, and there's something else that they can do in another way, we just want to make sure that they don't sit silent and they yell out or get in contact with the club and get involved as much as they can, because it's going to be an interesting, not just next year, but
you moving forward for footy clubs, some may never recover from this type of thing. So we don't want to be the footy clubs that are in that boat.
Absolutely. Thwaites rang me today, mentioned something. We'll give it a bit of a mention tonight, and hopefully we can get the ball rolling next week. So that's our plan anyway. So. Yep. All right, mate. No worries. Thanks for having us on. Like I said, enjoy yourselves. We won't bother. We probably won't bother you for the next 4 or 5 weeks, but we might. Okay.
No, that's all right. No worries. Happy to have a chatting time. And like I said, well done for you guys and everyone involved in the podcast. Good to have you back on the air.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it.
No worries, boys. Enjoy.
Good on you, mate. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Big thanks to Josh, and again, like you said, he's been fantastic with his time.
He's seriously terrific. From the first day I met him down here and what he was doing, he was getting everyone to help out in the club and stuff, and everyone's bought him and them, and he's just one of those guys that people gravitate to. He's a good bloke. His family are good club people, so that's what you need, and we're very lucky to have him. It's just a shame we never get anything in the park this year, but like I said, looking forward, we'll go to next year, and he's going to be around, and I'm sure you probably grab even more players and more supporters and more sponsors to make the club great again.
Yeah. Donald Trump. I'll use a Reginald Walter and say he's carved out of ivory.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so fantastic. We've got our next guest. It's the one and only. We're going to do all things Lockout here.
All things Lockout. So he's got a bit of royalty here. We've
Lockout. We'll try and
bit of royalty.
Get him online. Yeah, bit of royalty.
He's like the Harry. He's like the Prince Harry of the Lockout family, is he?
He's
because Nicole's like the really good one.
He's from a famous family. He's a club steward.
If you're listening, Hazel, I'm sorry.
Hello.
Buggy.
Hey guys, how are we?
Good, mate. What's happening?
I'm up just sitting out back in the new outdoor area.
Have you got your mask on?
Lovely Pumpkin Blinds. I hear he's going to be a major sponsor this season.
That's what I've heard too. He doesn't want to say anything, but I've heard he's whacking a heap.
About time he put proper money into the club, isn't it?
I know.
I heard he's bringing his hot tub down here.
That's exactly right. We're going to get some blinds in the club. Those new automated blinds he's got now. All for free, apparently. That's the mail.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It would be nice.
Don't have that much money, though.
So, Buggy, thanks for joining us. First, tell us a bit about yourself. How you got your nickname. That's a cracker of a nickname. Couldn't consider you had on the back of your car at one stage.
Number plates, number plates still going now.
That's it. Now, in these days, you're considered a massive wanker, but you were ahead of your time. Your time at the club.
Put a couple of stickers over the V and turn it into F-Wit. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so tell us about your time at the club and basically what are you doing now for a crust in the family situation? So give us a rundown of what's...
Yeah, I've got my nickname back in 95 when we were the big underdogs against Heatherton and won the flag that year. But I got called into the old club rooms, the old change rooms, and during training we used to pull back the bifolded doors. Travie Cood, Fluffy Devano was sitting in the corner and I said, "Hey, mate, Brad, come over here." And I said, "Oh, rightio." And they said, "You need a nickname." I said, "Well, okay, what are you thinking? Pugsley? Or it's Pugsley or Buckwheat?" And I said, "Well, fuck if I'm being called Pugsley." And he said, "Well, Buckwheat." So that's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting. Yeah, that's how it happens. So, obviously, family, 2 kids, 2 boys, Jagger and Robbie, wife Beck, got the father-in-law living here. He's been here since COVID, since the shop in my shop closed down. He's part of the family now under our roof. And so was an Interfab. Dad got us a job years ago, straight out of high school, there for 6.5, went to another company for 3, and then been back here for nearly 10 years. So, still at Interfab. Starting pretty much. Working from home at the moment. Yeah.
I just want to, before I get to the next question, that is you in the under 17s photo, isn't it? A little buckwheat, little mascot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that was down at Cranbourne, was it?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was Cranny. Yeah, it was.
They were the days our Southwest 16 we used to get smashed.
They certainly were.
Well, wasn't that bad, was it?
Oh, I think it was pretty bad.
I think it was worse.
I've got some bad memories as a child. Oh, right up there in the top.
It's almost child abuse, isn't it?
Yeah, we struggled. Thank God for the Southern.
True.
So your dad was a legend of the club. Tell us about growing up in his shadow, and I believe it was a little hard on you growing up, and I believe he gave you a bit of stick when you won a thirds B&F. Is that right?
Yeah, it was. That year was a funny one. He coached me in umpiring, getting up at
5:05 in the morning. Umpired the threes, and we're playing against Mount Waverley, and the runner was abusing me, the coach was abusing me, you shit, and I'm thinking, Jesus, this is the worst football I've ever seen in my life. You know, you get up this early, I may as well play. And the old man coached me into Tony probably be giggling about Evans and Murray. Going on by Pete, we used to have to pick him up from the caravan park down at Chelsea.
Sticky
I
Pete.
don't think my life can get much worse than studying on the worst rate of footy in Australia. And after listening to this effort, talk about Evans and Murray footy from 1337, who won the semi-final. So I thought, fucking mills,
It was a cold day. It was only 13 degrees that day, you know. He told me 38 times. He was
The
mental.
car trips to the games were pretty bad, but yeah, you do what you do. But that year we were lucky enough and gave it back to Mount Waverley when we got him in the grand final that year in the threes, which was fantastic.
So what?
Yeah.
You won the best and fairest for the thirds?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was out having a smoke. I thought I was going after the goal kicking, but someone said, "Oh, you've been called up," and went up there. And
But this might be. Tell us the truth. That I heard that Puppet said you shouldn't even go up there. You should be embarrassed to take it. Is that correct?
I can't recall him saying that, but yeah, wouldn't put it past me. But fuck, if he had to pick up Pete from Chelsea Caravan Park every Saturday morning for the duration of the season,
That's that's worth an award itself. He was.
Exactly.
Did you want to ask me about the driving?
Now the other thing was this is. I know this is a true story. When he was down there, and he got a few of the superstar players around and stuff like that. He used to ask for a lift home, and he refused. But he would take all the superstar players, no matter where they were or where they wanted to go. He'd take them home or out, and refuse to take you home. Is that correct?
Oh, that's a very true story. I had a function at the club one night. They normally shut the club about 12 to 1 o'clock, whatever you're licensed to. Hopefully I'm not speaking out of school.
No.
Ring the old man. I said, "Oh, Dad," obviously living in Chelsea, I was around the corner. I said, "Oh, Dad, I need a lift of Franks." He said, "Oh, you fucking no chance." And then I'm going to bed. I'm too tired. Brad Gilder rings him up. He says, "Pup, I need a lift to the city." He goes, "Be there in 5." He rolled up and I said, "You are a fucking disgrace." But saying that, we knew as a family, Nicole, Mum and I, that we weren't the number one priority. We were probably about number 3 in the pecking order, I reckon, with the club first and, whatever else second. But, yeah.
That's
the
funny.
way it is, and that's
funny.
his passion and your supportive, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Look, we're going to try and get your old man. We wanted to try and get you on him at the same time and give him a bit of stick, but yeah, there's not much you can say about Pup and his passion and his belief and everything he's done for the club. So, unfortunately, it was sort of a bit of cannon fodder there for a while. So that's the way it goes.
Extra toes.
Yeah, exactly. So you've been one of the boys who experienced the new and the old, play with a number of past and current players. You've been a bit of a character, and you've obviously got a few stories. Do you want to tell us about a few of them?
Well, I think you guys mentioned the dusty haircut.
Yeah, the dusty haircut.
Kingy Grant.
Yeah.
We had grand final day at our joint. It was a big one. Richmond obviously won the flag for the first time in God knows how many years, and I giving them shit plenty of times for finishing 9th, and I just said, "Oh shit, I'll get a dusty haircut." And he just goes, "I'll do it." So yeah, shaved it. Had Phoebe's wedding the next day on the bridal party. I was sitting on the couch with Luke Shelton, and we're getting this expensive bottle of bourbon, and it was really strong. It was probably high 60%, and that was that smooth. We were just necking it down. I was looking at Chelsea. I thought, thinking to myself, Jesus, I'm in a world of trouble here. I looked at Chelsea. I said, "Oh, you right, mate?" And he just looked at me and just threw up, just projectile, straightened himself on my couch. And that was early hours of the morning. The sun was coming up. I thought, I better go and have a kip. I remember shutting my eyes probably for about a minute, and my wife came in and said, "You got to get up. You got to go to the wedding." So she drove me to Timmy's house. His old man handed me a Crown Lager, which tastes like the worst beer I've ever had in my life. But got through it. Went to the wedding. And really struggled. The photographer in the photos and all that. The photographer was saying, "Mate, pulled me aside and said, mate, just open your eyes. I said, oh. Yeah, that was a dusty one. But, there was another time too. All the boys, Crowe, Cooter, Jenno and all that, went out to Twister. And we were lining up way down the street in St Kilda. And Puffin just comes out of nowhere out of the cab and just rolls in, tracky pants, dressed like an absolute derelict. He probably looked like the cleaner. We've been waiting for ages in the line. He's just powered straight through. And about an hour later, got in there. I said, how did you get in here? He goes, just walked straight in. I said, what, you didn't even pay or anything? He said, nah, straight in. So, yeah.
Must have been those trackies. I think tracky pants on.
You normally get pulled up for the wrong coloured tear in your jeans or the wrong colour or whatever, but yeah.
He was just a fashionista ahead of his time, I reckon.
I don't know what was going on.
Someone
they
say
thought he was probably one of those nutbags that just walked off St Kilda Road.
Yeah, just let him in.
Let him go.
A bit of special needs. Probably, I reckon your old man was the worst dressed president in the history of any football club ever.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely ever. I think he put on... I've seen him wear jeans once, and I think I remember the day he actually had new tracksuit pants, and that was his thing. He was like, have a look at me, boys. How good am I going?
He's still the half and half. He had the formal top, so sometimes he'd wear a jumper with a cold shirt, but then it might be the track.
Yeah, it was like he's on a show like this where you couldn't see, like he was a newsreader.
He would have gone around to Granny's before the club in the morning. She would have yelled at him to dress a bit smarter, throw him a jumper and throw that on and leave the bottom. But I tell you what, a lot of people would have earned a lot of money off him over the years in the club rooms when the $100, $50 notes used to fall out of the trackie. Pulled up a few of them and walking around the bar. I said, oh, you idiot. But then at the end, he used to give me the shit. He used to slash his pockets.
Probably like my old man when he'd come home drunk from work, he'd lay on the couch and we'd pull the cushions up. And you're beauty.
Like that's it.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
the cushions of the couch.
Over the cushions, you beauty. It was fantastic. Straight around the milk bar to Wally's and get some Wally's. It was great.
Nothing better.
So, like your old man, you're a gun cricketer. So, tell us a little bit more about your cricket highlights and moments.
I wouldn't say that. I'm not half a cricketer my old man was, but anyway, like
you can bullshit. It's fine.
Been very privileged to captain Chelsea Hyde Cricket Club for a lot of years, and now the Jaggers. Highlights probably when I first came back from Frankston, we were playing in the E grade, and we managed to win our way up into the top flight. That was a real achievement. And during that process, the biggest memory for me was the Woolly Grand Final. We used to get Smitty in the nets, and I'm like, mate, you got to hit a few balls, go hard, for the next few balls, and he just block them all. He said, mate, when the time comes, I'll do it. And we were 9 down. Kingy hadn't scored a run all year. Come in, we were gone for all money. Needed 40 runs off 7 overs, 9 down. Thought we were stuffed. Smitty started it sixes, and we won the flag. That was probably the biggest memory, and also, being able to captain the club and the young blokes coming through, Humies, Irish Kells, Stevies, and the likes come through with them. So, yeah.
Was that one of the best? Did you play many grand finals in cricket? Because was that one of the best ones? I didn't get there. Newey messaged me, he goes, mate, we're screwed. I thought, well, I won't bother going because 9 down, need 40. I thought, well, by the time I get there, it'll be all over. And then the next thing I got was one of the best comeback victories I've ever seen. Flacky tells me about it.
I was sitting next to Stoffer's old man. He goes, you guys are fucked. Bad luck. He went off and left, and we ended up getting up. He rang his stepdad up and said, oh, mate, we got up. And he goes, bullshit. That 3 times. But, he goes, mate, I'm not talking any shit. And, it was just unbelievable. Just everything was against us, and Mutley D. He's gun football, Smitty, but cricket, just determined. And
never write him off. To me, if you've seen Smitty, if you knew him, he doesn't look like a cricketer's or a footballer's arsehole. But when it comes down to it, he actually played both sports.
He's very good, mate. Yeah, very good.
Very good. Smart, legendary bloke.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us tonight. We'd really like to, going forward, hopefully you can get you more interactive involved in the show. Even we'd actually like to even a roving buckwheat at some stage when we get next year when we get the season up and going on a Thursday night. You've been a great character of the club. We'd love to get you down there and get you involved. It would be a really good laugh.
Well, I can't even say the story. It was after the third grand final, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Remember? You, me, Willow, in the cab.
Mate, do I remember?
Hey?
What UDLs? You were drinking an apple UDL on the way to the spring roll. Passion fruit toddy all the way, mate.
They were horrendous. I wasn't worried about that day. It was the night before when I nearly got murdered by the MS-13 gang. I was very concerned about. But that's a story. That's a story for another time. I don't think even Nicole
Table
knows.
57, your dinner's ready.
Yeah, I know. Allegedly, exactly right. All right, thanks, Bucky.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll chat soon. Awesome.
Will do. You're doing an awesome job. Keep it up, and hopefully we can get back to some normality sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Good on you, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Sam.
Appreciate
Have
it.
a good night.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
Thanks to Buckwheat, and like I said, it'd be great to get him involved in our future endeavours and get him doing a bit of roving buckwheat.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, he's a great personality.
And like I said, and that's a little bit about that question. He's covered such a generation. He was down here so young. He would have seen all those past players growing up.
I used to mark the lines years ago, and I've got a photo. There was him and Travis Johnson. Used to annoy me every. It might have been Saturday morning early, and I'd just be pushing, and they'd just be into me about bullshit all the time, just annoying. They were two little annoying little shits. Yeah. And that was it. As a young kid, and he's seen that photo, and he's grown up to be a standout young man. He's a really good bloke to have a beer with, and a funny guy. He's a really good bloke.
Yeah. So it'd be awesome to get him on the show at some stage. We'll get on to Bisho's bet. Hopefully he's still awake up in Queensland, COVID-free country. They tell me.
I hope he's not too cold.
Yeah, hopefully he's not too cold. We've got a bit of frost here tonight, as you can see in the background. Let's see if we can get Bisho.
Hello. Hey, fellas, how are you?
Not too bad.
Long time no here.
Yeah.
Nah, mate, yeah, crazy times, especially down that way, but incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, we are the COVID capital of Australia.
Yes.
I'm getting that. We're getting license plates
every day. 7:20 and 9 dead. How good is it?
We're getting license plates done at some stage.
Yeah, that's
the
it.
COVID capital.
That's it. The place to die.
Yes, yeah, well, glad you blokes are there. I'm still going surfing and having a good time up there, so it's all good.
On the Forex Golds tonight, eh? Or?
No, mate, no, I have beer free tonight.
Beer free?
Yeah. I had a big weekend last weekend, mate. I destroyed BWS last weekend and had a big long weekend over with Fiona last week, so trying to have a rest till tomorrow.
Very nice.
24 hours.
Well, I've been following your tips. Again, another really unlucky second. Jeez, it motored home that last start.
Yeah, Raheem, we're a bit stiff there last week. He just couldn't pick his legs up in the wet. The other one just kept going on us. But, oh well, not to worry. It was close.
Certainly was. And tell us about this week. Was it Melbourne Race 4, number 4?
Yeah, Race 4, number 4, Brooklyn Hustle at Mooney Valley, $2.70. Get on now.
Okay,
it's
yep.
Won its first start and it hasn't won since, but it beat Yes, and it's coming from a listed grade to a benchmark 70 or 78, so I'll be backing it big time.
Okay, and that's Mooney Valley, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, and what about your each way bet?
Yeah, we'll go to Sydney in the mud.
Yep.
It'll be race 8, number 10, Montefilia. At $7.250 the place.
$7.250. I know Badger will be listening. He'll be putting his all up on tomorrow and putting it up there for everyone to see.
Oh, that's good. And don't forget Darwin Cup Monday. Number 10, Budget King each way.
Budget King in the Darwin Cup. I knew that was coming up.
I love watching the Cup.
Yeah,
Monday. I think the barrier draws tomorrow, but this Budget King goes pretty good. 3-year-old, but hopefully we can get some cash and load up on the Monday. 6 o'clock Monday night.
We actually had last Saturday? Nicole put a couple of bucks in the account. I'm not a gambler's arsehole from anywhere. Anyway, I watched 3 or 4 races, and Our total outlay was, I think, $40, and we got back 17.
Beautiful.
So Nicole was wrapped with that. I thought, well, that's a 13. Anyway, it doesn't matter. 2 seconds, so it's a small victory. And after that,
it's good, mate.
it's not
Good
too
you're
bad.
amongst it.
Yeah, we're trying. I've got no idea to know what it. It's just hopeless.
Yeah,
No idea.
small fish are sweet, mate. All good.
Apparently so. So we've just sort of lost.
I'll give you another regional Walter. He said if you're in the racing industry, if you want to make $1 million, start with 2.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good advice. Very, very good advice, that.
Yeah. So, Bisho, tell us about your Schnitzel horse. This is the one that you've been wrapping up for a while. You said
Look, she's an horse. She's had 2 starts for a 5th in a listed race in Sydney, then absolutely bolted in at Newcastle, run the class record. And so she's had 3 trials, and he's going to bring her up here for an easy bit of a kill. And she drew first, got the visitors draw, drew 13 of 13.
Yeah, wow.
So we had to scratch her because trying to get away from the wet tracks because Chris Lees has got a satellite stable, another stable up here in the Goldie, like Waller. So but I think she's staying. Yeah, we scratched her already. So you just can't win from that 1,000-metre shoot at Eagle Farm. We're all set to go and everything, but I think there's a sneaky race at Newcastle in about 2 weeks from today. So I'll let you know on that one. But wherever she goes, she'll be hard to beat. Very good horse by Schnitzel.
Beautiful. Sounds really good. And have you got your eye on anything for the spring carnival as yet?
Not really. I do. Well, I'd really like Surprise Baby in the Melbourne Cup if it starts.
Yep.
It ran 5th last year, and I don't know what's going on with the restrictions this year because I wouldn't think many of the internationals. I don't know how it's going to work, but I really like it. And Surprise Baby, just at the moment that'll be me one. But I haven't looked at the Caulfield Cup or the Cox Plate. But the way things are going, I hope they're running.
Yeah.
Do the horses have to stay 1.5 away from each other? Is that how it goes? Huh?
They're not like dogs. They don't have to sniff each other's bums, mate. They can keep apart.
It's called gambling revenue, and anything goes.
Exactly
apparently, the
right.
government says. I like a little sneaky. I've just actually someone sent me a little sneaky text saying Willie Pike is on a Hickmon horse called Shabu, which is a German horse, which has been set for the Melbourne Cup, and it's just come out today that William Pike will be riding Shabu.
It won a Sydney Cup, didn't it?
No, it's had it's a really lowly rated horse in Germany, and came to Australia. It won 3 races in a row and had a small tear in a tendon. Won all the races in Melbourne.
So if it doesn't...
I know the horse. Yeah, good horse, yeah.
So if it doesn't win, it'll be a Schnitzel, is that what you're saying?
It will be a Schnitzel. It'll be nicknamed Pal. Anyway, thanks for joining us again, and let's the way Melbourne's going at the moment, let's fingers crossed that we can give you a call next week and keep the ball rolling. So we want to keep it going for another 4 or 5 weeks if we can.
No worries, boys. Well done, and all the best down there.
Good on you, mate. Thanks very much, Bish.
Bye.
See you, boys.
Bye. Good man.
Yeah. Our next guest. It's time for the Demon Tail.
The Demon Tail?
We can't reach the wheel, but we know who this guy is. He's a dual premiership player, club captain, Chelsea Heights Football Club, stalwart, life member of the club. And I reckon he, speaking to Daz the other night, he was sort of saying, who's played more games, him or Hoss? It is Gavin Hoss White.
1,000 games?
1,000 games, I reckon.
I think 1,013.
1,013?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Hossa!
Hey, boys. How are you?
Not too bad.
I'm in bed, mate. A bit late for me.
Hey!
We're just getting started. We're just getting warm. We've just done the warm-up, and we're about to bounce the ball.
Nice.
We thought we'd give you a call. Well, thanks for joining us, Hoss. So, tell us a little bit about yourself growing up and how you got into footy, family, and what you're currently doing for a crust.
Thanks for having me, boys. Been enjoying the show every week, except for your little hiatus you had, but break. We've come back bigger and better, obviously.
Blame the terrorist codger.
Bigger.
The terrorist culture, for sure.
And emphasise the word bigger.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fatter as bastard.
Right. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, as a young fellow, I actually didn't play footy early days. I was actually did competition running in the fire brigade, and through that I met a lot of the blokes that I actually ended up playing footy with, and like the Fanning brothers and Bear Bum, Killer, the great Irish, Mel Sargent, Ricky Turner, there was a heap of us all did the fire brigade running. Then I kicked off, played a couple of games at primary school with the great Iron Mike Greeley. And, we all travelled from there up to Assy Tech, and he used to play the old school footy at lunchtimes and all that shit. And I remember berating the bloke that we went to primary school, the guy named John Woodward, about how he was no good. And the great man Wayne Foster gave me a spray and said, well, at least he plays footy with us at the Heights. And, needless to say, I was there the next week and never left. So
God,
that was the footy story. Yeah, started under 14, I think it was, and then Foz promptly left the next year and went to Chelsea. So that was interesting. But, I'm married to the lovely Denise, been married, 27 years now, I think, something like 28 years. And had my own business for 16, 17, 18 years now. Putting my head in, it's pretty hectic.
You're employing a few of the boys you're employing, is that right? I've heard you've got a couple of young blokes you're giving a job to.
Yeah, look, Bear Bum's young bloke works for me.
Oh, no pressure. This is my son in the job.
He's going great, young Matty. He's real good, yeah.
Who else? Have you got some other...
I've got JK, you boys know JK.
Yeah,
he works for me, and his two sons both work for me, they're apprentices. Well, actually, Shawnee's out of his time now, he's a tradesman. So, yeah, I've got two of my boys work for me as well. So
he's a bit of slave labour.
I think we've got 5 or 6 father-sons that work. Yeah, a few dads and sons all work there. So.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Bit of a crew.
Absolutely.
Keeps us off the street, but yeah.
So busy? Busy at this time?
Yeah, no, pretty busy at the moment, yeah.
Yeah?
Doing a lot of hospital work, so they're pushing along, trying to get things ready, in case they can fit more patients in, I suppose, when this thing gets worse than what it is now.
Oh, but instead of water, I'd be getting sanitizer coming out. I think I just spray it around the sanitizer.
Yeah, I'd be better off. Yeah, actually, I'll give him the old cousin a plug. He sells sanitizer to Stewie Diamond.
Does he?
He's flogging that stuff. I can't. Meddy safe when it's called. I'm pretty sure he's listening tonight. I know cousin Craig is as well.
Hey,
I just want to point out his fact.
He is too, yeah.
No. There's two things in my life I always regret. Is not being the inventor of pegs. Right? Trust me. Go out and hang shit out in your lawn, and when you haven't got them, you go out and get them. Right? And they're not much, but there's 8 billion of them in the world, right? So I missed that opportunity. And hand sanitizer. Yeah. Seriously. Absolutely. I'd be as fat as a pig right now, but a rich, happy fat as a pig. Yeah, so. And I thought that that's nothing to do with any story. I'm just a bit dirty on myself, and I'm thinking of that.
Yeah, no, there's always some great idea that someone else comes up before.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Look, let's talk about the premiership. So you're lucky enough to play in 2 premiership sides, and you'd be an exalted company there. There's there's a couple, and the other one is Chief. So if Chief's listening, he's a dual premiership player. I know you hold them both dearly. How special was to be captain of one of them?
Obviously, I was vice. Well, so I was captain the year before we won in '95, and I wasn't actually going to play because the incident happened. But we got talked to playing, and Cosy took over the job. But it was great. Obviously, it was the first senior premiership for the club, what I remember. And I sent a few photos in today, and looked on a few people's faces, which was just priceless. And it's something I was actually looking at the photos because you asked me to get a few out. And,
yep.
Yeah, it was great memories. Probably nearly got divorced because. Went missing for about 4 days after the event and didn't go down too well. But
I did the opposite thing. After 95, I was just starting to go to Nicole, and I took that opportunity to go up to Sydney for a couple of years and get married up there. Otherwise, I'd be...
To Nicole?
To Nicole.
Oh, okay.
And because I thought, if I stay here, it's not going to go very well. You know what I mean? So we took the opportunity to go up there, got married and stuff, and then slowly back. And as soon as I got back, I whacked her on the committee, so it didn't matter anyway. So... look, they were special days, mate, and when you played that long and it finally comes to fruition.
After playing in teams that, we used to get flogged. I mean, I wouldn't give me a game for 2 years at one stage, and then Candle's first year Candle come back, we actually beat Dead Meadows in the first round by 20 goals ourselves, and it was just a weird feeling after getting smashed for years, and then just coming out and smashing someone else was just really bizarre.
What was the biggest flogging? I think mine was 40 goals.
No, I played in the one against Cranbourne where we got beaten by 50 goals.
50, I think that's the record, isn't it? There's a few people playing that 50.
I played on Darryl Nisbeth and he kicked 28 on me to half time, and I thought I was going all right. It was good, though, because he kicked 9 on Webby after half time.
I thought you held him. You held him well.
Yeah. you know, the ball was coming down every 30 seconds, mate. It was ridiculous.
You won't remember this, Hoss, but that year before that you were captain, you addressed the players. You won't remember this, but you said a statement, and it's resonated with me for a long time. You said to us at the end of that season, one of the guys at work has turned up blind drunk with his footy jumper on, his medal around his neck, and you said to us, I want to be like that. That's what I want to do, and that resonated with me for a long time. Actually, when you said that.
That's a true story, that actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Geez, we set our goals high nights, didn't we? Hey? I don't want to go next year and do a repeat. I just want to turn up with blowing trumpets.
Yeah, it is. The next question I want to talk about is something I also went through, and I know you went through. I actually got badly knocked out in about 1989 in a school game when I was playing for Morty Chelsea. I was playing in the ruck and I had a head collision. I sent myself back to centre half back to have a bit of a rest because we were pretty short then at Morty High. And we're playing Seaford Carrum, and I remember a few of the Seaford Carrum boys saying to me, "Look, mate, you're going home in an ambulance. I'm going to kill you." And you know, it was really bad times. And I remember, or I don't remember too much, but I remember having a head knock, going down. I was dizzy, and the next thing I remember, I woke up in a pool of blood. Now, I just wanted to touch on a point here about what we call the peripheral. I'll get the word out, is just, you know, having that sort of knowledge and awareness of people that that are around you when you're out on the footy field. So any other players out there that don't know a lot about it, you should really learn, because I learned the hard way about it. And I wanted to talk to you about your injury. So it was a fractured cheekbone that you suffered against the Rosellas that day. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about, you know, did it affect your game in the future? And did you ever have any sort of long-term effects? I believe it was was it a fractured cheekbone that you had, and you had to have it pulled back out? Is that right?
Yeah, I had fractured. Well, shattered my cheekbone and broke. I think it's called the orbital bone, where around the side of your eye socket there.
Yeah.
So the whole cheekbone, instead of being up attached to your side of your skull, basically was down a good inch where it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of plates put in to hold it back up there, and I've actually still got them because they told me the operation to take them out was as bad as putting it in. And I thought, no, I'll keep them. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
There's a couple of little, like, Meccano bits in the side of my head there, which you still feel the screws to this day. I was bloody, geez, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you get kinged? I remember that day, because I remember you come off. I was near when you come off and you hold. Did they get come out? Because they would. Anyway, anyone listening from Richmond Rosellas? And if you are, it was probably an accident. It was all good. Let's play on. But
all I know was I was watching the ball, and next minute also bang! I didn't see it coming. Didn't know what it was, but I believe Shane Blake reckons he elbowed me, but I can't remember exactly what happened. But
it wasn't.
No one probably.
It wasn't. Was it? Yarman?
It was. Yeah, it was Fairhart Yarman.
Yeah, of course it fucking was.
Yeah. And no one actually knew what happened because I didn't actually go. I didn't go down. I stayed on my feet and I kept playing.
Yeah.
I don't know how far into the game it goes, but I do remember after the game that the siren had gone. I knew I was in big trouble. You know, it was pretty numb. I thought, this is not right. I remember walking up to the great Spud McGuinness and saying, "Listen, mate, I think I'm in a bit of trouble." And I remember he looked at me and went, "Oh, fuck," you know. So he literally went and got the bag and he drove me straight to hospital.
Yeah. Oh, you probably would have been told the story anyway. But after the game, he was bragging about that the incident and saying, I've fixed up your captain, and it was a really ugly day.
He's a fucking dog.
Yeah, but
he got his own whack.
I was going to say he did.
He got his own whack.
Our own Morty boy fixed him up.
The story I heard is they got him in the pub one night and broke his arm. The baseball bat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's playing that.
Oh, okay.
They got him. This is like hearsay or whatever you want to call it, or urban myth, but he was about to play in finals one year, and I don't know who he was playing, but they found him in a pub or something like that. Held his arm down, broke his arm, so he couldn't play.
Oh, wow.
So if that's not karma.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Ferrat, that's just jokes. Just jokes.
I know that he was a kickboxer and he fought the Morty Alakai boy Sam Solomon, and Sam Solomon knocked him out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember hearing the story about
that. I
that.
always liked Sam Solomon.
Yeah.
Remember the time we tried to attack Shane, the coach down here? He was
I remember that.
He finished the game and took his boots off and started swing kicking. And Shane, the umpire, got in trouble for instigating a bloke that took his things and wanted to kick him. He was bloke. Anyway.
That's the effects after the event. I sort of thought after that, geez, there's not much worse that can happen after that. So it actually didn't really bother me after that. So.
Oh, right.
Brooklyn sort of ignored. Yeah, didn't think much about it after that. If that's the worst I'm going to get, I got through it. So
Yeah, well, that's probably a good attitude. You're going to get attacked by that.
yeah, so I think I played.
What's going to happen?
That happened in 90. That happened in 94.
Yep.
I played till 99, so I played another 5 years. So.
Yep. Excellent.
So you got 2 sons, is that correct?
I got 3 sons.
3
actually.
sons.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus, so who's done the homework
Oh, no,
here?
didn't do my
Someone
homework
hasn't done
very
their
well.
homework here.
I didn't say you said both your sons were about the young fellas.
I don't know. I don't do any research, so I'm not taking them over that. They all pretty handy. And Mitch still there for a while. So how did that all happen? How did that go down with your household with the 3 kids playing footy? And
Yeah, it's pretty exciting times. Well, I was just going to say, well, we've got 4 kids. My oldest is my daughter. Obviously, she was a mad Irish dancer, and she's taken up soccer now. She's going pretty good at it. She lives up at Batemans Bay, up to Joel Man, mate.
Oh, yeah?
Right.
He's up there working. But, yeah, Mitchie, he obviously went through Stingrays and all that, and then didn't get drafted at the original, and he got picked up in the rookie draft. Went to Melbourne. That was pretty exciting, and he was lucky enough to play 4 games in 3 years there, and he's actually now possibly was the youngest captain of Casey Springvale in the VFL. He was 22 and made captain last year. So he's still, at this point, captain of Casey. So
well, that's all right, because I heard there was a
basically
rumour
Melbourne
that
Reserves,
if he's getting too old and whatever, the old father-son rule at Chelsea Heights. Be nice to have another white playing down here. One with a bit of skill anyway.
Lovely to have the boys down here. Luckily enough to play a game of cricket with 3 boys a couple of years ago. As you probably boys are aware, I'm going no good at cricket, but they go all right.
I think you're underselling yourself.
But to have the 3 of them play at one club would be bloody fantastic. But so yeah, Mitch played there. Cole, the next one down, he's pretty handy football as well. He played Stingrays, and Papa and Swab have been trying to get him down in Heights for the last few years, but he's actually just gone back to Seaford this year. And then the youngest bloke, Jared, he was just come up to the senior club this year at Seaford, and I think he's going to be the dark horse. He's a bit like me, a bit of a slow starter, but he's going to really looking forward to see how he go this year. He's a big lad, got a bit of pace about him, and then he was going to have a good year, I thought. But yeah, obviously COVID finished that up. But yeah, so the 2 younger ones are at Seaford, and Mitch's home club is actually Seaford, so there was always a chance that maybe the 3 of them could play on a team one day, but you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, so tell us about that draft. What happened with that? What was sort of the build-up to all that?
Yeah, well, you get clubs that sort of bring you up, and they do. You had a couple of Brisbane come to questions, Melbourne, and Essendon. Went and did trials at Essendon. A couple of bits and pieces, but there was no firm offers, and it's a bit of a cutthroat system. You don't really know what's going on, and it's you don't know the situation. But we were lucky enough that Paul Connors, the infamous player manager, pretty famous, got all the big guys. He's actually a relative of my wife, so he was Mitch's manager, and he came out and he said, "Look, we've got no one knocking down the door at the moment, but got all the thing. He won the BNF at Stingrays that year. I think they made the semi-final that year and played real well in the finals. And then so Melbourne come round, and he was actually away on schoolies, and they rang him up and said, "I want to come out to your house and meet the family." So he had to come home. So they had all the, I think it was 4 of them come, 4 of them sitting around the kitchen table around the yak and asking us questions and that. And I do remember one bloke, he said, "Oh, who do you follow?" I said, "Look, I'm Collingwood, I'm willing to change." And I know the song pretty well. I've been singing the Grand Old Flag for a long time, so I'm pretty keen to jump on board if you draft him. And then, of course, he didn't know what was going to happen. And we're at work and waiting for the thing to come on the radio, and I had about 20 bloody phone calls, messages coming through, congratulations. So everyone else knew before I did. So he's had 3 good years up there, and really enjoyed it. Obviously, I'd love to go back and have a crack, and that's the reason behind him still playing VFL, obviously. So I think he's played 75 odd games at VFL.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Very good stuff.
Come.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Hoss, tell us about a few of the characters that you played with. You mentioned the great Badger. I know he's a close friend of yours. So, is there anyone else you wanted to mention? Any of the guys that you played with?
Yeah, Iron Mike really was a superstar and clubby. I went to primary school with Mike. We grew up around the corner from him on what we like to call South Chelsea Heights, where all the superstars come from. The Fannings, Muttley, the Foots, the Sutton Street, Ross Burrows, the Dinans, we're all over there. Really,
I was in Chelsea Heights West.
Older brothers. I
I thought you'd seen the light peg and moved over to the good side.
Now, but you're 35 years too late. I still think I'm good enough.
All the superstars are there. Well, one of the biggest characters down there, and used to make me laugh all the time, was Nugget. Some of the shit he used to come out with on the field, the comments to people, by other players, he was in stitches. He was unbelievable. Great fellow, Nugget.
Like I said, when he got that free kick down here just in front of the club, the bloke's put his hands just torpedoed straight in his nuts. It was just fantastic.
Oh, it's so funny.
He knew he was going to get
the best one with Nugget, and he hates me telling this story because I'm the only one that actually saw it, I reckon. We were playing at Cranbourne, and there was a bloke behind the goals, mouthing off, just gobbing off, and Nugget was playing full back, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, he was playing full back. Anyway, someone was kicked a point, so Nuggets chased the ball, gone over the fence. He's jumped, it must have had a low fence, because it was pretty low. He's jumped the fence, fell with this bloke, dropped him, picked up the ball, and jumped back and just kicked the ball and like nothing happened. No one noticed this bloke on the deck except me. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. He'll tell you now the bloke didn't say another word for the rest of the game. I was just watching him get up and I was pissing himself. Funniest thing I've ever seen.
He was
a great guy.
He's a good man, Nug. Absolute great man.
Yeah, the Spud McGuinness, he was a cracker as well.
Yeah, I know. I still understand a word he said in his 25 years, but he's a good bloke too.
Before we go,
enough to grab.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I remember Spud, this is a Ken Hickey one, Spud broke his nose, the nose was just completely, busted, come off the blood, he's running off to the bench and Ken Hickey's going, what are you doing? Turn around and get back out there.
Obviously it didn't affect his good looks.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, mate, it's time for the Demon Tale segment. We'll ask a few quick fire questions for you. So the first one, best play you ever seen at the Heights?
Yeah, I think that one's been run up the flagpole a few times, and he'd be probably dirty on me if he did. I was lucky enough to play with Campbell in a few games, and he was a great player amongst a lot of very good players. I played with Peter Oakes as well, very briefly, obviously, but yeah, there was a lot of great players at Chelsea. I didn't know he probably didn't get the recognition we deserved back in those days. It was the league we played in. It's been mentioned a few times before, but yeah, Campbell was probably out there along with the obvious ones, and Smitty and Footy and all those guys, and a few other blokes.
Yeah, now that we do have the new page up, we should get a poll up there and find out who is the GOAT. Who people think is the GOAT of Chelsea Heights Football Club.
And consider I might whack me name in there. I'll get one vote, and that'll be deleted. Anyway, I'll give it a shot.
Hoss, any pre-game, I asked this for any pre-game or post-game rituals, because we don't talk about it a whole lot. We used to just do our own little thing sometimes.
Well, someone told me that bloody scrambled eggs was good for the games. Used to have scrambled eggs every Saturday morning. Bloody reason. I don't know what.
Who told you that?
I don't know. Some idiot. But
that's
anyway,
gold.
I still eat them now. Yeah. Post-game was always, I reckon I was the last person out of the shower 95 times out of 100. And we just grabbed a couple of beers and stay in the shower for hours on end, because we had those showers that never ran out of hot water, green, hot and strong and all that shit.
Boy, McKay, thanks, Boy.
And I used to always have a can of Coke straight after the game. I'd go straight to the canteen, have a cold can of Coke before anything. So,
before the 47 pots.
These days. Well, yeah, before the pots, just get a bit of acid in.
So you're a general in the back line, always calling the players back. But did you give any decent sprays to an opposition player? Did you give any, or even your own players?
So I'll give a few of my own sprays through the course of it, but yeah, not too many in the opposition. Yeah. I used to with the other boys with that. I wasn't quick with it enough for that sort of stuff.
Well, it didn't really help, did it? In those days, sometimes to give them a spray, because when you're 25 goals down, it would be real smart, would be real clever.
Wasn't a lot to say. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wasn't a lot to say. Occasionally, but yeah, I think my sons have inherited the loud voice. They're always out there barking orders as well. So it runs in the family. I remember Hick used to call me Foghorn Leghorn.
That's not bad.
And how did you get your nickname, Hoss?
That come from the Fair Star, the fun ship, which obviously went on with Fairbum and Keller and Brooksy and Hutchie and a few boys. We had a ball out there, but yeah, it was a long story and a bit of a joke. Yeah. Obviously, the endowment thing was part of it, but we all know that's not true. So it's just become a joke, and it's just stuck on that ship. And it's been, well, we were in our 20s then, so it's been there for 35 years.
Yeah. Excellent.
But yeah, it started out as a joke and just stuck. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I spoke to Dazza about this one. So how many games do you think you've roughly played in your career? It must have been a lot.
Because before that, we have to probably apologise to a few of the older blokes. A couple of years ago when Phil Matheson played his 200, there's a bit of conjecture around.
Yeah.
He was the only bloke played 200 and stuff like that. But we never counted back then. And we forgot long years ago that everyone played 1 million games. You know, sometimes we played 2 games in a day. So we apologise for that. But I reckon 1,013. That's my rough estimate. And I fail maths, but I reckon 1,013.
I think Gary Foote would have the games played when he played to about 70.
Yeah, I know. Him or Obi. Obi was played
Yeah,
1,000
Obi played
games.
long time. Or Sergeant Lowry, he was a pretty long longevity. He was out there for a long time. So.
Yeah, but they didn't mean much, did they? He didn't do much with them.
Yeah,
games.
Thought about it.
Hey? It's called turning out. It's like a participation award.
Yeah. I do remember
Maybe you're listening,
played
Tony.
against Murrumbeena. When we played Murrumbeena when we first came into the Southern League, and there was a guy there playing 400th game or something. And I remember saying to the bloke I'm playing, oh, Jesus, 400 games, that's right. And he looked at me and he goes, yeah, he's had 400 kicks. I've never forgotten that. But yeah, look, I played for 16 years or something, and as you say, early days you used to play 2 games, 18s, or even before that, 18s and 2s or whatever, and 2s or 1s, and you get called up. But yeah, no idea, because as I said, there was no. I think the records got burnt or something.
Oh, they lost some. I've got no idea.
Or something. No, this is the league records went. So there was no Chelsea Ice.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
So even the league didn't know who played what.
No, and that was the thing, because you can't even find that anymore. It's not anywhere. It's not written down. It's online. You can actually find it. So.
Yeah. All I know is, growing up in Chelsea Ice, I've heard a lot of episodes. It's great, and it was all those older blokes. I was lucky enough to be sort of in the middle. So you guys were a bit younger, and like the Bear Bums and the Killers and the Fannings and that, all a bit older. So I was sort of middle, except for me and Badger. There wasn't anyone in our age group. And Badge gave away, so I was sort of the only one at that age group still at the club. And Bisho, I'm sure he's a character, Bisho. And the K brothers, there was just so many great blokes in Chelsea Ice. The thing that I loved about it, and still do to this day, we went on a golf trip to where we go? Swan Hill. And Walsh come, and I'd never really met Walshy, and I heard him make a comment that it's great that you blokes are still all hanging out together so many years after footy, and he goes, I want that. I said, well, yeah, it just takes time. We all grew up in Chelsea Ice and stuck together.
Yeah, true, absolutely. That's the thing. What I think about the club is that's what we grew up in those stages. That 95 grand final is probably one that most people who played in it, or the 75-80% who played it, grew up here. Everyone who watched it grew up here. Everyone who was involved in it grew up here, and it was super special that way, because it was a homegrown grand final premiership win that was long overdue, and it was great. It was brilliant. Brilliant day.
Yeah, for sure. It was great. Everyone in the club, you see, Puppet, I can remember going down to Chelsea Ice at 13, 14, and Puppet was playing full forward in those days. And he's still there now, which is some sort of phenomenal thing. Amazing. And Hazel, the amount of work they've done over the years at Chelsea Ice is just incredible.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I mean, I've seen Puppet still would like to have a kick, but the ball slips. So it's slipping off the side of his foot now. He's the 3-toed sloth. Anyway, he's a good man. I mean, like I tell you, I've been here for a long time too, and the work I've seen those guys, that family put into the club, that's why we're still here. Because if it wasn't for those and the efforts they've done, this club would have been gone years ago. So
I totally agree. I've said that to many people. Without Puppet, the joint would have shut for years ago. And he's a pretty humble man like that. He won't take much credit, but that's just the truth. That's the way it works. So.
Yeah. Last, see if he's got a demon tail.
Right. So the last one. Do you have a great story you want to tell from us? Like, any kind, trip away, something you remember, a great game. What's one of your best memories?
Well, first memory I had was playing my first senior game, and I think I was either 15 or 16. I can't remember. I was out at Narry Warren. Oakesy was the coach. And I spent most of the game being told by a fan to get a candle to get out of his area. He was screaming at me every 5 seconds. And my game plan was, if I get the ball, give it a candle, because I'm going to get screamed at.
Easy, and stay out of the half-forward line.
But in those days, we had some pretty heavy hitters than on the fighting side in that team. There was the Dyer brothers and Oakes himself, and a few other boys that can handle themselves. But, Slob Fanning could handle himself as well. Anyway, Narry had this big ruckman by the name of Peter Lindsay. His nickname was T-Bone. This bloke was huge. He had to turn sideways to get through the door. Big unit. And he clipped someone. And Oakesy turned on him and gave him the bit short, sharp right, and down he went like a bag of potatoes. And he's out cold. And Oaksy's just standing there, waiting for him to come, and no one went anywhere near him. And I could hear the players going, T-Bone, get up. T-Bone, come on, get up. And he was out cold. And not one of them said a word to Oakesy. And we went off there. And I'm pretty sure he got off at the tribunal as well. And he just knocked the bloke out. And hit him like a ton of bricks because, he was protecting one of his players,
Yeah.
So, yeah. A young kid at my age seeing that thinking, geez, I'm on the right side of this fence,
Yeah.
We're getting beaten, of course, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right. We're going to try and get him on in a couple of weeks and have pretty much a show just about him. About his
he was just, when he spoke, you didn't take your eyes off him. You listened to him in his tent, But he never hardly raised his voice, but it's just the way he handled and held himself,
Mate,
I've never forgotten.
He still terrifies me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When I went in the 50th, I see him all the time. Like I said, the story the other week, he took him to the tribunal once. He got me off, and every time I'm sort of it's basically in awe and a little bit terrified of him too, because he's just that. He's got presence, and he's not a loud talker. He's not one of those guys, but he's a very respectful person, and the way he played his footy, he's a legend of the game. As simple as that.
Yeah. The other one I remember, one more little one was a bloke by the name of Scusi. I don't know if you both remember Scusi.
Brendan Skews?
Brendan Skews.
Yeah,
he was like the original Tarzan.
Yeah.
This bloke was Tarzan. He was built like the absolute, he had a build when anyone else just was slobbed and didn't know what a gym was in those days. early games, I was only 17 or something. I've just picked up the ball, run through the pack. The bloke's coat hanging me, but I got my arm up, so I just hit my arm, but it took me off my feet. And they've come from everywhere. And Scusi's nearly killed this bloke. And Mel Sargent, and they were just absolute. It was on for young and old. And anyway, after the thing, I grabbed Scusi, grabbed me, right, young. I said, Scusi, he didn't actually hurt me. He's sitting there and he goes, don't tell anyone. Just keep that to yourself. Doesn't matter.
He was a bit wild, wasn't he, Brendan Skews? That's for sure.
Yeah, he was crazy, Scusi. But that was the day you thought, if something goes wrong here, these blokes are going to be right behind you. So.
Yeah, well, that's true, isn't it? I was lucky enough. I didn't play much senior footy, but I had Moose and Kempy one day, and they were the same things. As soon as you got anything happening, you just knew you were going to get looked after. So they had your back straight away, so it was great.
Yeah, Moose and Kempy and footy, Gary Foote, we played a lot with him as a young kid, coming up from the 18s and filling in and that, and they were terrific blokes to learn stuff from, and they just kept playing those. Moose is like, they call him Benjamin Buttons now, don't they?
Yeah,
he's
that's
getting
it.
younger as he gets older.
He is.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, great times at the Heights.
Yeah, well, thanks very much for your time tonight, Hoss. We really appreciate it, and sharing those stories with us. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, boys. Looking forward to coming down for when we get back into it and having a few beers with the boys again. You can always enjoy getting down for the past players.
Sounds
Talking
good.
Shit, having a few.
We're good at that.
Good to see them. I was actually looking at the recruits the Heights had this year. I thought they were going to go pretty well because Cal played in that second division last year. He played against the Heights, which was a bit hard to take. Watching the go some play against them, but looking at what they picked up this year, I thought they were going to go real well. So hopefully you can keep them together and go at it again next year. Yeah,
let's hope so. Who knows what's going on? But I think most of them are going to stay, as Josh said. And if he's in charge, we're looking all right so far. So that's great.
They'll go all right. So, yeah.
Oh, mate, thanks
for joining us.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
Join you, boys.
Appreciate it.
Right, we've got our next segment. It's Ask the Doctor. Where's the doctor? I'm up first. Like I said, I need some psychological care.
We're running behind schedule, aren't we? But it's okay.
No
one cares.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this story, Doctor.
I'm not putting on a fake accent. I'm just going to.
You're going to have to help me out to tell me if I did the right thing. And look, anyone next week wants to send in any wants to ask any questions, whether it's medical, psychological, anything like healing, anything, dating tips as well.
Send
them in, and we'll try and help you. So mine's Mine's a little bit around the question that we've been asking about the superstitions and hoodoos. Mine's always been, I think we had Slob on one the other night when he said he always wore the jocks on a Saturday. We always wore the same jocks on a Saturday. If things were going good, everything was going okay, no injuries, I'd always wear the same jocks. So I'm going back to 1988, so back in the high school days. Morty Chelsea, we used to have our sports day doctor, and Craig, we had a guy called Craig Moy, and he was a state runner for I think he ran for Victoria at one stage, but he went to Morty High. So the whole objective of the sports day at Morty Chelsea was to get the next one off. So you have your local day, and then you go to the carnival for Bayside. So all you want to do is you want to run second to Craig Moyer. So my tactic was just to sit back and let Craig, obviously he's going to win by a lap. He's lapping everyone. So I sat back. Anyway, come the last lap, it was the 800 metres. I sprinted home and I came second. I was like, you beauty, I'll get an extra day off. So it comes to the sports day at the Bayside Sports, and obviously Craig Moyer had the great had all the gear, the spikes and the proper running shorts, and I turn up in the footy shorts, an old t-shirt, and look, you know what I do? You know what my fault is? I dig out the match day jocks that I usually wear on a Saturday. So Mum had bought you used to get the 12 packs. Well, in the 12 packs, there was this canary yellow pair of jocks, and I love these canary jocks. I used to wear them in the games, and I thought, well, it's a running event. I'll put the canaries on. So I put the canaries on. I've turned up the Bayside. I thought today I'm going to do a little bit different this tactic because I was pretty fit at that stage. I've been doing a bit of boxing, and so I go out and I lead the pack. So I'm out running in the pack, and the jocks being the jocks that they are, the cheap Japanese canary yellow ones, they kind of give way a little bit, and the boy kind of slips outside the shorts, and I'm running along, and I can feel the boy he's sort of in the wind, and he's flapping around a little bit, and I'm thinking, these are the three scenarios that I had. I hope I chose the right one. I'm still having nightmares about it. So it was pull out of the race. I was actually feeling all right at that stage. I was out in front, and I could feel the boy flapping around. And this is a true story as well, embarrassing as it is. I've never told anyone this. The next one was, do I win? Do I just win? The photo ends up in the Morty Chelsea and the local, do I do that? I probably would have had a new nickname, which probably wasn't so bad back then. Would have been Dick Reynolds, which probably wouldn't have been so bad. Or do I just pull back into the field and just quietly finish off the race and hopefully know that no one notices? What's your advice on this one?
Well, I've got a few things. Clearly, you should just let it go after all these years. You've held it in for a long time, so you've got some psychological... And that's what I'm here for. Look, if that had been me, you win the race.
You win the race?
You play to win. If your dick's hanging out the side and you win, even better. And get on the podium and flash that baby around and say to what's his name with his fancy shit and all these bloody good running stuff and all that kind of stuff with no friends, because who runs? Seriously. And get it out there. So you probably should have done that.
Should have done that.
You've undersold yourself. He's got his fancy bloody pants on, made in Australia, whatever they are, and he's all compact and stuff like that. And you've got these cheap, whatever they are. And I bet you Dot didn't buy them. I bet you Red's got them from the Wolves, right? So they were probably cheap, but that's okay.
I did have some Pumas from Freddie Cook. Freddie Cook that fell off the back of a truck. That was the only good thing I did have.
Were you wearing them on the day?
Gear I had. I was wearing them on the day.
Oh, so it's conflicting, aren't you? Yeah. You've got the good and the bad, the yin and the yang. I'm saying, one, you've done the wrong thing. And you can't get that back. Next time, if you're running out and your dick pops out the side, keep running. Because if it happens in this day and age, you're going to get in trouble with the police.
I chose C. What I did, I could feel it. And you can't just sort of stop running and put it back in or anything.
No, I chose the rhythm.
I chose C.
So Craig Mottram, stop, put his dick back in.
I didn't.
No, you don't. Johnson, all the top runners. Kathy Freeman, did she ever get one and put a bit of, whoops, that? Oh, it's popped out the side. She doesn't stop. She didn't stop in Sydney. It probably did. If you zoom in at 2006, it's probably out there, but no one worries about that.
Yeah, I chose C. I dropped back in the field. I remember finishing the race and just quietly hunching over and pulling the shorts down and putting the boy back in, and I just quickly escaped out the.
Where did you come?
At the back. Oh, I don't remember, but I finished back in the pack at the end of the day just to do the right thing.
Sometimes doing the right thing is not the right thing.
Anyway. That's my story.
Look, I'm glad you got it out.
I got it out
weight off your
I
shoulders.
feel better now that I've told that
There's
story.
obviously a weight out of your underpants at the stage. But, anyway, look, you can't get that back.
No, I
but,
can't get it
maybe
back.
you can tell your grandkids and stuff like that if it happens to them again.
Yep.
Just keep running, son. Just run like the wind, bullseye. That's all you can do.
Well, anyone got any other any questions for the doctor next week? Send it through. Any advice? I put a few on there on our Facebook teaser today. You know, anyone have any relationship problems that are sleeping out in the shed with the dog, or they're lonely and they're just sleeping in the shed, or
I've actually got a couple of private messages.
Couple of private messages.
They call it ED now.
Yep.
ED. Yeah, ED. It's erectile dysfunction. But I don't want to embarrass the poor bastards.
Okay.
I've got it. Look, there's a message from Dinger here. There's a message. I'm not. Sorry, it's a patient thing, confidentiality.
That's it.
Anyway, it doesn't matter what your problem is. I can solve it, but you need to open up like you did. And I congratulate you for your honesty and your courage to open up. So if I can help anyone in the next few weeks, send us a message and see what we can do.
we can sort it out.
Sorry, Ding, I didn't know that. Well, anyway, we all do now. But anyway,
I feel better getting that story. I've never actually told anyone that story.
Well,
But that is a true story. That did happen to me. Fucking embarrassing
his
as it
name?
was. Craig Moyer.
And what's he
a good
doing now?
runner. Oh, I don't know what Craig Moyer does now, but he's a bloody good runner.
No,
He's a good
he's
runner.
probably some bloody dirty junkie or something like that, trafficking kids and stuff like that.
He was a bloody good
He's
runner.
probably in them super spreaders. That's what's happening to him. Nothing. Don't worry about that. Move on.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to our last segment, and thank you again to Bear Bum. Those that didn't pick it on our Facebook teaser, it is the Animal House, and I'm gonna. You want to read the song?
Well, I didn't pick it. I'm in on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. That's how clever I am.
You read through the side.
Am I reading it?
Yeah, you can read it.
Righto. Don't need to. I'll just keep this on because.
If anyone else has anyone else that they can think of that we missed, it'd be great to send it
Absolutely.
through.
This is a little bit hard because everyone's
know.
got a few nicknames, but not animal related. So it's animal related. So we've got the backs: Damien Slug Reed, Tony Weasel Wern, Sean Rat O'Connor, halfbacks Paul Chicken Smith, Phil Moose Greenby, Wayne the Snake Smith. He was a great bloke. The centres: Matt Puppy Powell, Scott Crow, Darren Snapper Langley. Half forwards: Michael Badger Garelli, Phil the Squid Philby.
He's a good player, the Squid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't remember him, but he was obviously good.
Nah, he's a good player.
Jay Fisher. Forwards: Timmy the Flea Grant, Greg Bear Brown, Sean Bear McDonald. There's a few bears in here.
Yep.
The rucks are Pat the Dog Lester, Ruck Rover Mick Cat Clinton. I think he's Lynn. I think he's in there, Mickey. I think you're watching or joining tonight, so long time no see.
Yep.
Rover, I love this guy. Loved him. Shithouse accountant, but a good bloke. Joey the Rat Collegia. Interchange goes from Mick Mantis Brenchley, Mark Pig Stevens, Bruce Fish Fisher, Tim the Pig Best, the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said him before.
Yeah, we said it.
Josh. Well, Bull. What was that? And our I forgot about this trainer, Warren Rabbit James.
Who
And
can
I
remember
really want to
Rabbit?
know how he got his nickname, Rabbit.
Yeah.
And that's it for our
That's
22
it.
this
That's a
week.
22.
Well
Well-
done, Bears. That's a good effort.
We'll finish with Dave's joke. I hope Jungle.
Let's hope he's pissed. Let's hope he doesn't balls it up this week.
I hope Jungle's got the number.
Does he?
Do you have the number, Jungle? Yeah, he does.
Anyway, I've got one. Have I done the Pauline Hanson gag yet? So this could go anywhere.
Hello.
David,
Yes.
how are you, mate? What's happening?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm on the red. I'm watching the footy, which is pretty shit.
Is it?
And you're stuck. How are you?
Yeah, good as gold, mate. I'm on the red too. Just being here. Not much, no footy. Have you got a joke for us?
Yeah, I have, mate. I have.
Is it clean?
Yeah, not bad. It's racist, but it's clean.
It's racist, but it's clean.
How's that? Is that all right?
Well, not how racist is it?
Oh, about medium.
Bad medium.
Yeah, it should
This
be
could
right.
be our first and last joke on the Magnet. So,
Anyway, how you going, all right?
now we're going good, Dave. We're just sort of we're a bit late. We're running late. We've had a good chat with a few of the boys. It's been good to
Yeah,
get back.
buckwheat now, I know. I listened to a bit of it, don't worry.
A bit of it, thanks, mate. Thanks for your support. It's terrific.
No, don't be like that.
Thanks. No, so
But yeah, I was watching this shit game of footy as well.
righto. No, look. Just say it. Jesus, Dave, I can't control what you say.
Yeah, I know. You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, we're ready to go for it.
Right, little Johnny's in class, and the teacher says, right, I'm going to ask a question. Whoever gets it right can have Monday off. And that's a pretty good thing for school kids. I haven't told you this one before, have I, Todd?
No, not yet.
Right? And all the kids go, right, Owen. So he says, the first question is, who said I shall return? And all the hands go up. And remember, if you get it right, you get Monday off. Anyway, he picks little Iqbal in the front, little Pakistani kid. He goes, yeah, that'd be Douglas MacArthur in the Philippines in the Second World War. And he says, well done, Iqbal, you can have Monday off. And Johnny's up the back, not happy. And he asked another question. He says, who said, we shall fight them in the air, we shall defend them on the beaches? And all the hands go up. And he picks little Muhammad, a little Indian kid on the second row. Johnny's not happy. Anyway, Muhammad goes, yeah, he said, that'd be Winston Churchill in the Second World War. Well done, Muhammad, you can have Monday off. And Johnny cracks, he goes, fucking Asians! And the teacher goes, who said that? He said, Pauline Hanson, 2007. I'll see you on Tuesday. There you go.
I was a little bit worried there for a while, but not too bad, Dave.
Yeah. All right, well, look, go.
No, I'm just going to say thanks for that. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, no worries, pal.
Good on you,
Well
mate.
done, guys. Keep going.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Dave.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
That was shit house. Seriously. Was he fucking hung up? Yeah, no, what? I've heard it before. I should have stopped him. Sorry, but that's my fault. Bloody hell. You look like a chance. He tells a shitty. I mean, if you're going to tell a racist joke, make it racist.
Oh, that's funny.
Just joking, Dave. Love you, mate.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're about to wrap up. Well, fingers crossed we're here next week. We're going to have an Oaksy special, hopefully. In the next
Let's hope we're going to get Peter on, and we'll do a bit of a special about him and about his career. It's a massive career.
Yeah.
There's a page in the local gazettes. I think I'll showed you
Yeah, we
of
can
his
go
career and
through
what
that,
he's
yeah.
done. And if you thought Keith Robbins had a pretty special career,
I know.
wait till we get Oaksy on it, and he's got some great stories. He's got a great history. He's a great background for where he's come from. He's related to a couple of people probably everyone knows and stuff like that. But he's just an absolute terrific man. One of probably the most well-respected people around going on. So hopefully get Pete on. I think as Sue listens every week, his daughter, and relays some of the stuff we say to him. So he's sort of approved, which is a massive tick for us. So yeah, we'll try and get him on in a couple of weeks and see how we go.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Well, that's about a wrap for us, I think.
Running late. Thanks for everyone who listened in, and hopefully we can get all these websites sorted out and we get some more on board next week. So
Sounds good.
cheers, guys. Thanks very
mate.
much.